This does have something to do with inventory, which is why we put it first, Brian, because obviously it's a real situation that your client's dealing with right now. But when it comes to people looking to sell their house, there's lots of things like the lock-in effect, having their rate, the price of the replacement home they got to get.
Yes.
Like there's all these scenarios, and especially if someone's going to cross out of California or from a property state that has lower tax coming to California, these are considerations people have to make. What's interesting to me is the huge change in pending home sales in just 1 month's time. It wasn't too long ago, guys, episode 103. If you did not check out that episode, we talked about pending home sales being the lowest ever only a couple of shows ago. And now we have February homes resales jump more than expected in the month of February, immediately after January being the lowest ever.
Yeah.
What the heck? It's like this bipolar listing world.
You think it's lagging data?
Well, it's lagging because it's March and we're talking about it in that sense. But once you have, yes, it's partly that. I honestly, you know what I think this was? I think this is people who were waiting to list until after they knew what happened in November. Remember we talked about that? Yeah. We're like, people are going to wait till November and either stay or stay put or whatever. There's, again, the qualifier for me is there's always a subset of life situations that are happening. Yeah. You know, death, divorce, debt, you know, new baby on the way, new job, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
After that, it's really just a preference. And I think that this preference we're seeing now is like January had the lowest because, okay, well, the inauguration's going to happen. Is it going to happen? Like there was all that kind of stuff happening in the political ecosphere, but then, okay, done. February, boom, resurgence. People are like, okay, now I know what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go, what my life for the next 4 years might look like.
Yeah.
And boom, here we go.
And as a reply to that, I feel that as we progress in the year and we get a better idea of, you know, the economic outlook, you know, where things are heading as we, you know, we'll get into it. I think that's going to, you know, give people, like you said, that intuition that, okay, this is my time. And as the year progresses, people are going to go in tiers like, okay, this is my time now. Okay, in the summer, this is my time now. But what I'm curious to see is that, you know, like you said, the seasons of selling, you know, and actually like, you know, what we're expecting from history before is that, you know, everything has changed and it goes back to the preferences. It's not like, you know, you can predict that spring's going to spring and summer's going to be booming. Last year we got the spring rush late in the year. Mm-hmm. So I think, you know, the more that the year progresses and the more data that we start, you know, seeing and what direction it goes, I think that's going to open up even more, you know, inventory and a lot more people transacting as well.
Yeah. I mean, overall, this is good news.
Yeah. I take it like as good news, whether it might be a little negative here and there. I think in the big picture, we're moving forward.
Yeah, ramping up into January and February with the contracts that are houses under contract that close in January, under contract in December, January, closed in February. I think we're going to see a continued spillover into March as well. I mean, even just walking around the office, I mean, you guys have been opening new escrows, so I know we're now at the end of March, but the point is even the amount of names on the board right now are more than were in February, which was more than was in January. So even at our little micro level of our own office and our branch, there's a trend in that same direction that follows what this is saying here.
Yeah, no, most definitely. You know, on a side note with this, the only other the negative impact is that the homes are still lasting longer on the market. And the reason that we're able to see more activity is because also we're expanding into other states. So that also helps out. But if we really just become laser focused for San Diego, we are going to see lesser transactions happening here right now, you know, because than last year.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of, I don't know. I'm going to say it's not like, whoa, there's a big surge.
There's parts of the county that have way less listings. So like in the fragmentation of San Diego, there's some parts of the county that have way less listings than they did a year ago. And I'll pick a random one just because I happen to be like looking. I'm going to pick Ramona. Like Ramona had a lot more listings last year than did now. So we're kind of in that little pocket that's trending in the different direction. Hummel and Del Zura is another one too, because all these places that I saw for sale in November and December, well, they're sold and now they're closed and now there's less. So it's like where there used to be 35, 40 that match your search results, now there's like 10 or 12.
Oh, okay. Got it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I'm just out looking at land, right? Because that's where I want to go, right? But my point is
away from us.
No, not away from you guys. I just want to go and smell fresh
not
air.
Away from you guys, but away.
Be trees and wear my boots all day.
Mm-hmm.
No, but my point in bringing that up is there's always the localization thing, like we talk about. But in general, for the housing market and the health of the housing market, I think you have a force function of people feeling positive about what could be happening economically, regardless of the whole tariff conversation and argument. You have the Fed holding rates, not increasing them. You have inflation that is slowed. I'm not going to say lowered. That's not true. It's slowed. There's that. Despite the amount of like jobs that are being like completely obliterated by the whole Doge thing.
Yeah.
I think the general consensus at the individual level is, okay, things are working back into my favor, even if it's slowly, and now I can make some sort of move.
Yeah,
totally. That's what I think this is going to reflect. And I think March is going to show that too. Once we get into April and May, we look back at March and April. I think last year, remember how we talked about, it's like spring and summer got a quarter turn to the right, like an entire 3 month quarter turn, and they were later. I think we actually might have a chance at a normal spring.
Yep.
It might only be a 30-day or 60 days off. It's certainly not going to be 90 days like it was last year.
And I like here that it mentions, the market challenges. Despite the positive trends, challenges such as affordability, high home prices, and economic uncertainties continue to keep the market active, subdued.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's that pent up demand that people are, still wanting to buy, but the situation might not be there for them. So I think as the year progresses, they're going to be entering the market little by little.
Hey, one thing before we go on, I wanted to point out, and this, I don't know if this is just the research source. It might be because there's some variety in this number. This is citing that the median home price was $398,000. And that's the first time I'd seen it under 400. Where did I put my note?
Under 400,000.
Under $400,000 for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't see. Well, it's okay. It doesn't matter where it came from. Every once in a while, there's some variance about like $5,000 or $7,000. But this is the first time I've seen it under 400,000 in quite a while.
I think it's where you're getting that source from, right?
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I know, you remember sometimes it's like, it's 426, it's 423, exactly. It's 417. It's like, I understand there's some variance.
I think that may be under looking in a different.
Anyways, my point of bringing that up is that what caught my attention was that it was under 400,000, and it hasn't been under 400,000 for quite some time.
No.
So